a chance to take a look at the Dallas model? Have you?
Just briefly, my staff in my office has looked at it more than I have.
What was given to us just yesterday or this morning, and it looks like they've got a two-pronged approach. One combines our portions of our aggressive solicitation ordinance and our no intersection stuff, where they you can't panhandle anywhere in the city within 25 feet of certain things like ATMs and even car washes. Then they've established 4 zones: downtown, uptown, Deep Ellum, and Victory Park, where there's no, what they call it, solicitation-free zones. And it says in here, I don't know, it's just what's given to us, that it has survived a court challenge. That's a kind of a neat, what we talked a little bit about Boulder, having the distance from buildings zones on the mall, for instance. So I certainly support the downtown zone as a first start. I'm worried about that's the ripple effect. That they might not only move west, they'll move east out the Citadel area or any place they can, where we provide a bus to get out there.
I'll certainly look at that. I am not aware that Dallas has survived a legal challenge. I'm not sure what they're referencing, because we did a pretty exhaustive legal research. I don't recall our staff found any litigated cases or written opinions other than the Fort Lauderdale 11th Circuit case. But we'll certainly look again. We're not ruling out, I want to be clear, we're not suggesting that multiple zones don't make sense. It's just that in Colorado, which our state constitution actually is more protective of speech than the U.S. Constitution, so we've got to be respectful that our courts might be a little harder on us. We've been told by certain groups that they do intend to sue us on this ordinance, so we're trying to find the most legally defensible ordinance. I think if we can get something in place and make it work, and we work on community education, enforcement, and this tool, and maybe we expand it. If we see that there's a problem that's developed elsewhere, I think we can build on it. Would be my recommendation.
Anybody else? Jen?
Chris, I think it would be helpful if you gave us a few more options. And I think the Dallas model, which from what I've heard is not even necessarily zones, but by restricting so many feet from an ATM or different places around the community, it actually becomes citywide. So it addresses the issue of people moving from one area to the other. And I just think it would be helpful before we make a decision, if we have some options that we can at least look at and consider and see how they work. And I just want to reiterate one more time that I'm asking for an enforcement plan for the west side before the panhandling ordinance, not after.
Understood. I think we absolutely wrote that down. We heard that. I just will mention one thing is that we do currently, under our aggressive panhandling ordinance, we define panhandling within a certain number of feet of an ATM right now to be illegal. We call it aggressive panhandling. And the same is true of someone who's eating outside, like outside Chipotle or Sonora or our different shops up and down here. So we have addressed that. It might be that the Dallas ordinance, you have to be careful. Sometimes folks misunderstand the Dallas ordinance when you talk about the mix of aggressive panhandling. They might be using their aggressive panhandling the same way we are, and then they have a no solicitation in some other areas. So some of this stuff we absolutely do have already. But we'll bring more options. I understand.
The Dallas does make two distinctions. One is solicitation-free zones, and the other is no solicitation within these eating, outside eating areas.
Movie theaters.
After dark, which is in our aggressive solicitation, by the way, is approaching vehicles